Hi, and welcome to the McInnes Garden. I'm Sarah Fishel, and today we're going to take a look at rhubarb and what you can use because the rhubarb's coming up over there in the garden, and now's a great time to make rhubarb pie, rhubarb cake, rhubarb jam. There's so many things you can make with rhubarb. The irises are also blooming beautifully in the garden right now. This is our pollinator bed. Since we've planted our garden and we've got our bean poles up for the garden, we need the bees, and he's getting ready to get some pollen right there. We need the pollinator bed in order to draw in the bees to pollinate our other plants. So let's go down and get some rhubarb. So this is our rhubarb plant here, and we have actually two rhubarb sections. We have rhubarb here and we have rhubarb over there. And I've been cutting the rhubarb off. You want the rhubarb when the stalks are red. So we look for the reddest stalks and we just cut it off near the base. And then we cut the leaf off and leave it out here in the garden to compost. And if you keep this cut all summer long, it'll just keep coming back. You can see the new growth that is under here already. So new leaves are already coming up, and that'll make enough rhubarb stalks for jam and things later on when we get ready for that. So go down here. I'm just going to take off one more stalk down here. Then we'll go in the kitchen and we'll see how we're going to make our pie and our cake. These are our TP bean poles. We already have the beans planted. The poles help the plant to grow upward. And right now we have rattlesnake pole beans and we have scarlet pole beans. And when they come up, they'll just grab the pole and they'll grow straight up. And it makes it easier to harvest. Now what we want to do is once we get our rhubarb cut, we want to wash our rhubarb because when it rains, the mud and dirt splash up on our plants and we don't want our pie to taste like mud. So we're just going to wash them off a little bit. And we'll let those sit there and dry, and we'll come on over here because I have already cut up some rhubarb. And to make a rhubarb pie or a rhubarb cake, it takes 3 cups of rhubarb. Now it takes about 6 stalks to make 3 cups of rhubarb. Once the rhubarb is diced up into about 1/2-inch pieces, you're just going to put them in the pie crust, like so. And then you're going to mix your molasses and your sugar and about a teaspoon of nutmeg. I need a spoon. So get all of our nutmeg and cinnamon and sugar stirred up. I'm just going to stir that up like so. And rhubarb is very, very tart. It's almost like eating a lemon. So that's why there's quite a bit of sugar in it. And then we're going to mix a little bit of flour in here so that our pie is firm and thick. Get all that mixed up. And then we're just going to place this over the top of the rhubarb. We don't add any water to this. This seems very, very dry, but you don't add any water because the rhubarb makes its own liquid. And if you would actually add water to this because it's so thick, it would make it way too runny and your pie would be all over your oven. So you're just going to put that on top of your rhubarb, like so, and kind of spread it around. And when it starts to bake, it'll mix itself. Just get all of that off there. And we're going to add a tablespoon of butter to the top of that to help it kind of disperse. And then we're going to add our pie crust, which I've already rolled out on a piece of parchment paper there. So our crust is all ready to pinch together here. Just pinch your two crusts along the edges. If it gets a little bit of crumbly, just pick it up and put it back on there. And Grandma used to say, you know, if you want your pie to be pretty, take your finger and pinch and poke, pinch and poke, pinch and poke, all the way around. And then you can sprinkle a little cinnamon and sugar on it. And this is what your rhubarb pie is going to look like when it's finished. And if you want to come by and sample, I think there'll be plenty, unless the 10 children get here before you do. To make a rhubarb cake, you're going to do basically the same process. You are going to take 3 cups of rhubarb, diced up. You're going to add flour and milk and sugar and butter and eggs and lard. Mix all that together as a batter, and then you're going to put it in a cake pan. Pour the batter over the rhubarb, and then sprinkle pecans and cinnamon sugar on the top, and you have rhubarb cake, and it is absolutely delicious. So we'll post those later and hope you enjoy.